If you think you're not afraid of the dark, if you think you have a strong stomach, if you feel nothing can shock you, if you believe you've seen everything, if you say you don't scare easily, what are they?
Y'all, Mike Ripz, ThaRANTulas. We in here, actually another bonus episode, but I'm filming this one for the first time. So, you guys are gonna get to have fun with this. Transmitting from the loft in Brooklyn, I'm here with the Misanthropik One.
What's
How
up,
you
kid?
doing, bro? It's good to
link
up on this. We were going back and forth a little bit about this, you know, and getting this done. So how you doing? How does it feel to be in the loft in Brooklyn?
It's wild shit, man. I love all the nostalgic shit around. This brings me way back to when I was a little demon and running around and causing trouble and shit, and it's fucking crazy, dude.
Interesting. So let's bring it back a little bit to that point, the little demon, that essence. How did you get into, you know, let's start with like the hip hop shit. How did you first get into hip hop, and then more specifically the underground shit?
I mean, I grew up in New York. Well, we're in New York right now.
Yeah.
I grew up in Manhattan.
Uptown, downtown? Or?
Uptown, Morningside Heights.
Okay.
That's like right on the border of Harlem. Then I moved to Lower East Side, then eventually Jersey, and you know, rap was just something that was always there, no matter what it was. Yeah, it was like fucking. You know, you had Hammer, which was the biggest shit at the time.
That's
Hammer,
so funny.
Yeah, Vanilla Ice, all these guys. Then you had, you know, the more lyrical types of dudes. You know, your LLs. I won't say Tupac because Tupac's more like a songwriter, I guess.
People still consider him real lyrical, though.
Yeah, when he first, like for me, when he first came out, like with Tupacalypse Now, when he was more on that pro-black shit, and then he started to make more of a intrinsic
thug
type,
shit.
thug type shit.
Weird.
Then he had the intrinsic heartfelt shit.
I love Tupacalypse, but I love not Me Against the World, the All Eyes on Me, and Machiavelli. Those albums are insane, bro.
Yeah, that's when he was just. But I mean, you know,
he was going crazy
to
at
his
that
detriment.
point.
Yeah,
exactly.
But he did, you know. Again, I've said this before. Like, I love when artists are in that dark place, because that's when you get the best music out of them.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's fucked up because like a lot of these guys get on drugs and shit like that, but they make good music.
It's true. Look at Eminem. This is really shit. Now,
now it's like,
well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But, so I get it. You're in the Uptown. Then where in the Lower East Side you live? My father's from there.
Water Street, Montgomery Street, by Exit 3.
Okay, I'm like that area is, you know, nobody's living there for under fucking, you know, like God only knows at this point.
Yeah, now it's
$2,200 a month for a studio.
Yeah,
that's a good price.
Yeah, right. I mean, I was right by, what was it, Pier 23 or whatever. It's literally Exit 3 off the FDR Drive.
Interesting.
Beautiful spot. You know, walking by there, it's like, you know, again, much like this, it just takes me back. It's like a fucking time machine. You know what I mean? Even coming to New York, as much as I dread I told you before, as much as I dread driving through this bitch, but I'm here. Once I'm here, I'm cool. So.
I'm happy you made it. I was wondering. I was like, am I asking too much? This cat coming out? But you came through,
straight.
so fuck it.
Nah, we straight.
But my other question, that's like, you know, the usual hip-hop shit. Everybody fucks, or most, nowadays, who knows, but most hip-hop fans and heads fuck with that. How did you get into the deeper underground shit? Because on your YouTube channel, your show has the Camuteu megahertz shit.
Yes.
And that was in circulation pretty heavy in like 01, and the 12-inch era, as I call it, but nobody fucks with that nowadays.
Right. When I was going to high school in Jersey, one of my friends, Dave, I won't put his full name out there, but Dave, he was always into, you know, Raucous at the time, and you know, you would watch BET, and once in a while they'll play like Miss Fat Booty from Mos Def. Shout out to Mos Def because we're in Brooklyn right now. But he you know, he would get some airplay. Shit like the High and Mighty was big at the time.
B-Boy document video.
Yeah, B-Boy document, exactly.
BET back in the day, I used to have it. They played the End-to-End Burners Company Flow video every now and then, which that was insane to me.
Yeah. I mean, considering that they weren't getting no push like that, you know what I mean? It was just them. But, you know, after a while, you know, because I was, well, in high school, I'm a big audiophile, so it wasn't just hip hop I was listening to. I still do listen to metal, jazz, all that shit. But I would say, you know, high school, coming out of high school, I started to dig. Like, I would get into fucking, I was hearing about Necro, because at the time, what was it? I Need Drugs was being pushed.
What I found out about it probably the same time, bro.
Yeah, because
but I was in CT. I find that hilarious.
Okay.
Jersey and CT, we were, you know, into that shit.
Right, you know, and from there, you kind of bridge out, because you had Necro, Nonfiction, then it was Atmosphere, Jedi Mind Tricks. You start branching out, Merce, this and that, blah, 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 blah.
Living Legends.
Yeah, I started just, you know, getting into everything, you know, and I got so much shit that it's not even funny.
I feel you, bro. Like, that reminds me, like, that era came out of the 12-inch era, as I call it, which would probably be, say, like 96 to 2000, right? And that was like Bush Babies, Cellar Dwellers, Bushwhackers, all that Brooklyn shit that was coming out that was just 12-inch. And Necro kind of came from that, because he was one of those artists, basically. But of course, the content was crazier. He was a white boy at the time, which was pretty much unheard of. Eminem was starting to come out, you know what I'm saying? Nonfiction was in that whole realm. The Arsonists were in that whole fucking realm. That whole shit, you know what I mean? But it's funny, you mentioned Ruckus, because that's, for me too, it's the same shit. That was the rabbit hole. That was pretty much, I remember on Soundbombing 1, they have, what's his name, R.A. the Rugged Man.
Yeah.
And I loved this shit. It was one with
my heart stops.
Exactly, till my fucking heart stops, Agala. And then the first one's called, I think, Flip Side or B Side, where he says that crazy shit. Dude, and for mad long, I didn't know he was a white boy. For like, I was listening to him for like 4 or 5 years, and then I saw a picture with Cage and Smut Pepper's album where he did the video with that.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that dude's a white guy? What the fuck? But the Stanley Kubrick on Soundbombing 2, that shit still knocks.
Yeah, that's timeless music. You know, that's why, shout out to R.A., man. I love that dude. To me, right now, still super relevant, you know.
I was just going to say, he's had like a few resurgences throughout the career.
Right. Even, you know, I wish that he would put out an official Crucified Dibs physical shit.
He should.
But, you know, I don't
think he owns it, bro. That's probably why he hasn't.
Yeah.
It's gotta be some
shit. And then he
like
has
that.
the other one that's supposedly called, what was it, American Low Life or something?
That one got recorded for Priority. Or, because it was between Priority and Jive. He got dropped from Jive, went to Priority, and I think he recorded American Low Life, but I had all that shit online.
You had that?
I didn't have an album. I had Napster and LimeWire and all that shit. So, I had all those shits in 2000, 2001 when it was coming out.
And then you know what's funny about him, too? There was a dude, I gotta find it, that's on SoundCloud, that took all the Stretch and Bobbito.
I had all those too.
Put them all up, and then there was a freestyle where here he comes in, just flowing and flowing. It's like
it's
just
off
literally
the top. He spits off the top of that. He's like Rugged Man, Smoke Crack Vial. I had that shit, bro. Like I actually made it. This is when we were burning CDs and shit. I burned all that out. God only knows what the fuck it is, and I don't have the files anymore and all that shit.
Yeah, someone put that shit up like a few years ago, and I heard that shit. I'm like, wow, this is ridiculous. Someone actually preserved that shit.
Now, thinking of, like, for example, all the content that, like, those dudes, especially Rugged Man and Necro, and all those cats, everything. Let's go even, like, the Public Enemy shit, which was, like, you know, militant, and I loved it, and it was all that shit, you know what I'm saying? That was all very controversial. Now, where do you think... Well, first of all, what do you think of rap now? What do you think controversial means in rap? Controversial would be Kanye West voting for Trump. That's what controversy is now. Everything else falls in line.
I think that rap nowadays is where everybody else is. It's like it's kind of like a hive mindset, you know. And unfortunately, that's to rap's detriment to me, because back then, when you had your Public Enemies, you had Public Enemy, you had who else was in that NWA that I guess you could kind of. They were more gangster streets, but they still dropped
talking
knowledge.
about that. What's it called? Professor X, rest in peace. Or what's it called? X-Clan.
X-Clan.
Kind of
you would have that avenue.
Even Ice-T.
Ice-T to an extent, yeah. His first 4 or 5 albums.
I loved his shit. OG, Home Invasion,
I was
Power.
just bumping Home Invasion the other day.
Yeah, it's crazy. Although, I'll say this about Home Invasion that I didn't know until way years down the road. You know how the intro is like, if you are offended by...
Yes.
That's from Just Ice, bro, back in the day. It's on the second or third Just Ice album. He does the same shit.
Oh, he jumps on that?
No, I'm saying Just Ice did that. He's like, if you're offended by blah, 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 that's where it came from. I didn't know that. I always thought it was Ice.
Yeah, right.
It was like homage, I guess, that whole thing.
But speaking of which, like I said, I was listening to Home Invasion the other day. Probably... one of my favorite fucking underrated Ice-T albums. But that's how I feel to this day. Like, if you're offended by shit, hoe, bitch, nigga, this, that.
Why are you listening to this?
Yeah, stop it. And I feel rap is kind of following that trend of now we gotta be PC. Gotta be PC. And I don't like that shit. Listen, say whatever the fuck you want to say.
Who cares?
Yeah, it's sort of what I call mental capitalism. Because if you're saying something that fucked up, guess what? People have the right to say, I'm not fucking with that. That's it. But nowadays, you just can't say it. One of my friends, shout out to Chiseled Adonis. He's a comedian. Yeah, he's a comedian. And he says that on the comedy circuit, there's people afraid to say what they want to say. They have to change up their whole shit because people are too offended. I say, fuck you, fuck that. If you don't like it, go to fuck home.
Well, I mean, this is funny. This is where, rappers that really give a fuck and comedians kind of really have a, coexistence, and they kind of have something in common when it comes to this. Because there's this crew of cats that have a podcast. I don't know if you've ever heard of Legion of Skanks. You ever heard of Big J. Okerson? He's a funny stand-up comedian, and he's really offensive. And their podcast, they call it the most offensive podcast in the world or some shit.
Now I'm going to go listen to it.
Dude, you're going to like that shit. It's so ridiculous. But, of course... the people that are more I guess, PC or whatever you want to call it, SJW, woke, whatever the fuck it is this week, they all are like, they're Nazi, racist, blah, 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 blah.
That's how it is.
At the end of the day, you said this in one of your videos, it's like, dude, if you don't like it, who fucking cares? Like, if the dude's a Nazi, but he's not killing anyone or doing any shit, and he's in his house doing it, then, how can you even stop it unless you're gonna do some weird 1984 Big Brother authoritarian shit?
Yeah, that's my whole thing. That
Which you're on the verge of, anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, with all this shit with controlling speech and all that shit, Eric July is a guy that, I
saw all that. I watched that video.
AKA Ripper. Shout
Which is
out
ironic.
to
Mike Ripz, Ripper. I was thinking about that. But I want to peep his shit now. I just saw that last night. I didn't know he's a libertarian.
And he's a lyricist as well. So, I mean, he brought that up. He goes, listen, that's essentially what libertarian is. Do whatever the fuck you want. Just don't actively fuck me. That's it.
Don't tell me what to do.
I can't. It's just like this whole thing that my mentality. People go, "Oh, you're anti-gay or you're anti-homo, you're homophobic," which again, that's a dumb term because that means I have a.
You're afraid.
I'm not afraid of gay people. Yeah. My thing is, I don't care what people do. If two gay men are in their house doing whatever they're doing, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm not gonna go into their house and say, "Hey, wait a minute," because I don't like what you're doing. You have to stop. Who the fuck am I to do whatever you fucking
especially
want?
Put it into law too. But this is where the problem where I support gay marriage, for example, because this is the thing that if marriage is in law, real libertarians don't want marriage in law. That's just so we can just eliminate that.
Right.
But forget because it is in law. You know what I'm saying? My wife and I are married, and I my taxes were horrible this year, so I don't know these fucking tax breaks they were talking about for the first place. But that's a whole nother story.
I think they're saying it's 2019.
True.
So we'll see.
But my point of it is, if we get tax breaks as a married couple, then if it's a gay couple, whatever, they should get the same shit. Or take it out of the fucking government completely. One or the other.
That's what I say. I say, listen, I have no problem with you if you want that. First of all, personally, I think they had the better deal not getting married.
Well, that's true.
Because now you just put yourself into divorces.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the problem with divorces.
Right. You just made a bigger problem. But okay, be that as it may, fine. But you have to take the good with the bad. That's what I feel. So,
now, speaking of this guy, Ripper, that I find really interesting, and I thought this, maybe it has a chance now,
Right.
But you see this weird shit where, let me start here, where when Obama had all those rappers in the, and I am a fan of President Obama, not really his policies. I think he represented us well to our allies.
Yeah,
he did that well. He's a
yeah.
very good speaker, probably
Right.
the best in a long time.
Right.
Definitely better than Clinton, better than Bush. Better, I mean, Trump has his own ridiculous. You can't compare it to anything. It's
Right.
stand-up comedy when he gets up there.
Right.
But my point is this: when he had all those fucking rappers in the White House, and let's not even go down the path. Eazy-E was there with Reagan, I believe.
right,
Like,
yeah.
which that's just totally. Let's say this: he had who was it? Nicki, Common, Chance.
I think Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, well, they were friends.
Right,
I don't even know
yeah.
if he was at you know the picture I'm talking about, right? Where it's him with all the rappers in the
Okay,
Oval Office, you
right.
know what I'm saying? When I saw that, I'm like, anyone who's like subculture or counterculture or remembers what this shit was supposed to be about and like it liked the message from, you know, Melly Mel and Grandmaster Flash, it's like, this goes against everything we've ever talked about, guys.
Look.
And they're just using this to get young people to vote. I mean,
Right.
if you don't see that, then you're either being willfully naive,
Yeah.
or you're a part of the shit. You're a part of this like conspiracy, which
Yeah.
I think all government and business and industry is pretty much a conspiracy.
They
together.
have some root in it. Yeah, look, I mean, yeah, that's why I tell people, I'm like, listen, I threw up a video way back when, I think it was maybe before 2012, around that time, when Obama was voting the second time.
Yes.
And, running.
Running, yeah.
And I told, particularly my race, black people, listen, I was talking in general, but, you know, majority to black people, I was saying, listen, if you're going to vote for this guy, vote for him because you believe in his policies and this and that. You can't, that image is, like you said, it's just like to show, hey, listen, it's okay, look, I'm down. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like you said, that's one thing you can't take away from Obama. He's a great speaker. When it comes down to him, as far as policy-wise and all that, he was a face. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the way I look. He was a face. That's why a lot of my people are still stuck on him. You can't...
The whole left is still stuck on it.
Yeah, the whole left
it's
is...
so funny because
yeah.
he tweeted something about what him and Michelle did in Chicago today, and I just looked. I don't even follow him. I noticed that today. I don't follow him
Someone
or
probably
Trump.
read-
Exactly, that shit.
yeah,
So I looked at his shit, dude. He has 101 million followers, and that's so much more than Trump even. Trump,
Right.
I think, has like 60.
Yeah. And it kills me because it's like, you know, I think... Puff Daddy came out after the fact and said he felt shortchanged, you know, but this is a thing that...
I remember that.
See, you know, now we're going to get into the race part of it. It's like we are always the, what would you call it? Like the go-to guys for the left. You know, I feel like black people are always the pet. That's why I say on my channel, when you look at the history of the left and all these Democrats, they just come to you. They know what to do. They're masters of language.
Oh,
They're
you know
masters of art.
LBJ's famous quote.
Yes,
right?
I know.
Everyone
Yeah,
knows
we don't
it.
do that. I've said that.
But
on
I
my
mean, a lot
channel,
of these
too.
people that are getting crazy on Twitter, I'm like, do you guys know that? I don't know. I don't think so.
They don't want to believe it because they, again, you brought up willful ignorance. They don't want it. They don't want to say that, or they'll bring up the party switched. I'm like, so one day Republicans said, you know what? Let's just switch names. And I'm not racist anymore. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. It doesn't.
And when they say the party switch, if they're talking about the South and demographics and shit like that, the thing that's interesting is they say the party switch and all these Dixiecrats, these Southern Democrats just went Republican. It's not actually what happened. More regulation started in the Northeast, in New
Right.
York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Boston, blah, blah, blah. More regulation. A lot of dudes moved down there and moved their business there,
Right.
moved whatever they were doing there because there's less taxes. And they're Republican, they believe more in free markets. I don't know what the deal is with the racist part of the Republican Party and shit like that.
Yeah.
And is that true, or do they just want free markets? And they're kind of just like, I don't give a fuck. There's drastic problems I have with the Republican Party. That's why I
Right.
say libertarian. And my whole thing with that Obama shit and us, why are we looking at this like this good? And like the rappers are there like that. Like, first of all, they're all commercial. They're all millionaires.
Right.
What if you
Yeah.
brought up someone like Conway or West Side Gun, which
Right.
they're kind of commercial. They're down with Eminem.
Right.
But, or even maybe like Poison Pen or
Yeah.
Blackistan or someone that's super underground. Bring them in and talk to them. It's
Right.
much more interesting, in my
Right.
opinion. But my whole point of this is, we've seen what goes on with Republicans and Democrats. I, was of the left. I was never like a huge lefty. I always believed in markets more, but socially liberal to the furthest degree.
Right.
Okay? So, but I've completely kind of abandoned what the Democrat Party is now, for sure. I won't vote for them no more. I've either always voted Democrat or Libertarian.
Yeah.
My thing is, in hip-hop culture and community,
right,
it's weird to me that there isn't more, at least some libertarian or libertarian-leaning. I don't mean Republican or conservative. I'm talking about just fuck the whole government, let's get rid of it as much as we can.
There probably are, but they have to follow the line.
Yeah.
They have to say, hey, look, I'm going to tweak my rhymes to do this. It's like, no, fuck that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
the only thing I know is your boy that you said, I don't really know him, that guy Ripz. I'm not familiar with him. Rugged Man has said some stuff that is definitely libertarian before.
Yeah, like I know R.A. is a gun rights guy.
Oh, yeah,
he believes in that.
Because his dad is a military dude.
Yeah, because he was on The Fallen State with Jesse Lee Peterson. And
he was on there?
Yeah, he was. You gotta watch it.
I need to watch that.
It's
I
wild,
watch his
man.
shit sometimes. It's so funny.
All right, never mind. He's out there, Jesse Lee.
Oh yeah, he's too much for me. But still, I watch a lot of this shit. I watch left and right. I don't give a shit. I watch straight up communists. I watch Alex Jones interview debate fucking Bill Ayers. You know who he is, right?
Bill, I know the name. I just don't.
He was like
familiar.
the Weather Underground. Obama and him were cool. Everyone on the left hates to hear that. It's true. Him and Obama were like friends, and he did fundraisers for Obama. But he was the leader. You know the Weathermen, the group, the Underground. That's where their name comes from.
Oh yeah, right.
The domestic terrorists. They blew up shit. I have to do more research. I don't want to, fucking, butcher this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly what the deal is. But it's funny to me. Everything's always fuck the government, but now that I'm older and I'm looking back, it's like, is it only fuck the government when it's like a Republican or some shit?
It is. I mean, you could openly say that. I think that's a fair assessment, because we're so ingrained to think, well, they're just racist. I'm like, what are they? First of all, what are they saying? Yeah, you're gonna have people on the fucking far right. Mm. That's just how it is.
But they're not even about small government. They're about some weird, like, National Socialism as Nazis. It's some shit like that. Nationalists mixed with the government taking care of a lot of shit.
Yeah, like you have like your what's the guy's name? The Richard Spencer. And all these guys.
The weirdo guy with the weird voice. Rugged Man talked to him on Gavin McGinnis's show. Jared Taylor, I think his name is. That fucking weirdo.
He's a and that's what I was whose show was I on? Was that? I think it was one of my own videos that I said he's more of a because I watched him before debate Tariq Nasheed. He's a white nationalist. That's how he.
Yes.
And to me, there's a difference between a nationalist and a supremacist. This is where that whole libertarian, like thinking like that. A supremacist is the one who's saying, oh, I want to get rid of you. Mm-hmm. You know, you're black, you're Hispanic, you're this. Mm-hmm. I don't like you. I want to eradicate you. A nationalist is saying, I just want to be over here.
They're just like, I want America to be first. I really don't care.
Well, that, and I want to be because I want to be like pure. And it kills me because there's a lot of black nationalists that say the same thing. So it's like, well, why is it bad when a white nationalist says it when you want the same thing? And I'll be watching black people cheer on this pro-black guy that says, like for example, I love Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, me too.
He was a black nationalist because he believed in
I like a lot. I like crazy shit. I like Malcolm X and shit like that. Yeah. I don't like everything he said, but a lot of it was great.
Yeah, but that's the thing in life. And again, you've watched my shit. You're not going to agree with everything. I don't agree with some of the things Malcolm said.
Yeah, of course.
Because in the beginning he was militant. I mean, he always was throughout his whole activist career, I guess. But in the beginning, he was just like saying some wild shit until he realized he's like, well, wait a minute. And I believe that's when he started gaining more momentum. And, we could go into the conspiracy theories of how he got shot up.
I was going to say, a lot of people think he was murdered by the Nation of Islam.
Yeah, I mean,
who knows?
It's just wild. I feel that, especially in his case, he was killed because of the power he was gaining. I was just watching a video by him last night. I love seeing him destroy. I'm just so anti-left now.
Yeah. And most people who are objective have been pushed in that direction at this point.
And you have the walk-away movement. I talk to people
that
every day, and people are like, dude, I can't fuck with this shit anymore.
Well, I think what happened is, like I just said, a lot of people are socially liberal, but now they're making it too ridiculous. Because I was like a Democrat and left or whatever, because it was I thought it was live and let live, but it's not that anymore. It's
not that.
Live, and if you don't like this shit, then we're going to scorch you, excoriate you, kill you, whatever, make you live in a fucking hole in the ground. Who the fuck knows, you know? Which has never. Which brings me to an interesting point I want to ask you. When you said Tariq Nasheed, it really rings a bell. Like, what do you think of this whole shit posting culture and the whole commenting on Twitter and YouTube? I've never looked at your comments. Do you get a lot of negative ones?
I'm relatively quiet on there. I just retweet. You know, a lot of.
But I mean, on your YouTube videos.
As far as what? You mean like...
Do you get a lot of comments talking shit to you?
Yeah, well, look, YouTube changed their algorithm shit, so I don't get as much views.
I noticed that. I noticed that shit.
Yeah, when I first came out, dude,
your shit has like 50,000, a lot of the old ones. And then, like, I was looking at the new ones, I'm like, what the fuck? These are
dude, I review an album. This is why I kind of am shifting out of that. Or I'm going to try and tweak it, like my review shit or whatever. Anytime I do a review now, like it'll get like 500 hits, and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong?
You used to have ads on your shit too.
Yeah, like, I still do, but sometimes
they demonetize it.
Yeah, they'll say, oh, because I'm controversial.
Have you ever gotten a message from them saying like this is bad or whatever?
Well, yeah, right now, yeah, I have gotten that like on a few videos. Especially now, like now you have to apply for monetization with every video. So it'll say limited to no ads with my shit. So I have to go on, request manual review. So someone has to sit and essentially infantilize, baby me and go, okay, no, that's bad.
Yeah.
It's like,
so that makes sense. Man. I see some of the shit you're posting months ago. There's no way there's no way we're monetizing this shit.
And I'm glad. I was watching. I was on Twitter, and I think it was Donald Trump Jr. that retweeted someone that said, I'm thinking of putting out a. You have Gab AI, which is free speech all the way. I have to make an account on that.
I was going to just ask you, do you see something coming because of all this bullshit?
It has to. It has to break.
Because MySpace is gone, and Facebook is on the way out, in my opinion.
Yeah, Facebook is dying. Yeah.
Because what's it called? Like, I barely even fuck with it anymore. I only fuck with Instagram. I go on Twitter to just look at other people's shit, but I don't have that many followers on there. Right. I'm way more on Instagram.
Same here. Instagram. Facebook is dying. I have it open because I'm friends with a few people.
Yeah,
I still get some, some rappers or whatever post shit. Okay, fine. I don't post shit. Number one, people are too emotional nowadays. So if I post some shit,
you're gonna get 50 comments fighting with you, and then and then you say one thing, not even cursing them, just being like, "Yo, dude, maybe we could look at it like this," and then they're like, "No, fuck that," blah blah blah.
So I don't even. Gab AI is the one spot where it's like anti-Twitter, where they don't care. It's free speech. You say whatever you want, this and that, as long as you're not promoting, I think, violence against somebody or stalking or anything. They don't give a shit. But there's got to be another video posting site where you could just say what you want. You have BitChute. What else? VidMe they took down. They quit.
What do you think about like the perception of rappers nowadays with all this shit? Like, there's one that's as far as you can post anything you want, and you can interact with these guys anything you want. Everything is 100% transparent. I was saying this to my friend the other day. A while ago, I used to always be like, the mystique is gone from this. And I was saying that like 10 years ago, but I really didn't know how to articulate that, and I don't even know if I knew what I meant. This is really what's going on now. Remember, like, rappers when we were young, you fucking worship those motherfuckers. You're like Redman, for example. And he's still cool. I love him. Method Man, Wu-Tang, whatever. Like, there's so much mystique, and you kind of just saw them in interviews. You saw the album covers. It was fucking awesome, and it was crazy. It looked ill, and you were obsessed with these motherfuckers. Now, because you can interact with them constantly, and you can tell them to fuck themselves, and they can tell you to fuck yourself, and they're that petty, right? It's like, the transparency is unlimited. So if you go in an interview and act like that, everyone's gonna be like, you're a fucking douchebag.
Yes.
Like, act like a human being. Don't act like some perception of yourself. I find that this situation we're in with the social media and digital age, it favors stand-up comics and comedians well because they exploit their insecurity and they expose it and they're self-deprecating. Rappers generally are not like that. There's a few that are like, you know, I think, you know, like R.A., Mac Lethal, dudes like that. I don't even know. There's some other ones. I'm trying to think of dudes that just like diss themselves. I mean, I do. I'm like nobody yet. Anyway, so fucking, like, do you agree with that or do you think there's something to that?
No, I agree with what you're saying. This is why I've heard some people say social media is at times the worst thing ever. You know what I mean? It's good for promotion. It's good for this and that.
All right, bro. So you brought it up here, but we're back. Okay. I want to ask a question about what do you think about the Trump era and what do you think is going to happen in the future with this shit? And where do you think all this is going?
Honestly, like where I stand, you mean?
Yes.
As far as I always tell people this. I support him in the sense that if he fails, America fails. You know what I mean? I love the fact that he trolls the shit out of the left.
That's what everybody loves. That's the one good thing he does. I love that
because his presence alone
pisses them off so much, and he loves it. He revels in it.
Yeah, he feeds off of it. That's why someone said, dude, he could say oxygen is so great. Tomorrow the left will be printing out oxygen, the racist origins of oxygen.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, dude, he exposes you.
It works every time.
Right. It's same thing with the MS-13 thing. Yeah, they're animals. Oh, no. They're good people. They're good. I'm like, dude. And I'm saying to myself, if you're looking for a home and you see these motherfuckers and they show you the neighborhood, hey, listen, this is your neighbor right here. I guarantee your ass is going to be looking somewhere else. You're not going to want to. Don't be a fucking hypocrite. Okay? Do I agree with everything he says? Of course not. No. There's a lot of things that he has
I don't like the petty, pussy-ass bickering shit.
Right.
That's what
look, he said some shit about...
he did one this week, I didn't... Oh, the flag with McCain. That bothered me.
Wait, what
he, like... Because, like, on Monday... You're supposed to have the flag, like, halfway, and he insisted it went up. Like, that was whack.
Well, yeah, I mean, look.
But again, that's like, is that affecting anything important? Not really.
Yeah, it's
I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of John McCain, regardless.
Right. But you know what? But this goes to the genius of Trump, because McCain was using his own fucking funeral to politicize his whole shit. Oh, him. Well, fuck you. Yeah. You know what? Trump goes, you know what? Nah, you know what? Bring that flag back up. You know?
It is funny when you think about it.
It's hilarious. So I say, dude, that's fucking great. Minister Farrakhan, who, again, is another guy that says some off-the-wall shit. I agree with some of his shit. A lot of it I don't agree with.
Yeah, I agree with some shit. I used to love him. The thing I don't like, a lot of times he'll say something totally insane. Like, recently he was like, in one of the last speeches, this was already 2 years ago, he said something like, oh, and these fucking Muslims are coming to the neighborhood and fucking buying the businesses. Like, my boys are on the deli right there. Right. And it's like, dude, like, that's division within. Too. Like, what the fuck? It's like, why are you mad about that, dude? Right. Like, if nobody else is going to do it, who gives a fuck?
Right. So, but... He was asked about Trump on a radio show, the Trump era, and he goes, why would I be against him? Yeah, and he goes, look, why would I be against this guy when he's going after the same media that slandered black people? Yeah. He goes, good for him. He goes, I'm not going to be against that. That's part of one of the reasons why I love the fact that the media will get so flustered. CNN, the fake news thing, that drives them wild.
Well, the other thing, their ratings are plummeting. Dude.
Yeah, fucking ancient aliens beat them.
That's so funny.
And I'm like, but it's true though. What he's saying is fucking true. Because did you see what was the latest one? The guy just the other day said Antifa is
I saw that.
A black
it's Chris
group.
Cuomo, yes.
Yeah, and he's like, and then,
it was what's his name, Don Lemon too. Both of them said it.
Yeah, it's like it's a black group, and I'm just like, what?
Everyone that's ever been there is white.
Yeah, seriously,
every video I've ever seen.
They're 97%.
Yes.
So it's like, well,
you know this kid? Have you ever seen this kid's videos named Fleckus?
Fleckus Talks. I love him.
Yeah,
man.
He's hilarious. Dude.
Yeah, but. And then you wonder why they're calling you fake news. It's because of shit like that. Then you had the other one that cracks me up. They had the 6 people that show up on CNN, and the host, I forget who it was a female, saying, hey, we want to see if you regret your vote for Trump.
Oh, yes.
So, you saw that one?
I was watching it the other night. That was on Fox, I think.
No, it was CNN.
Okay, I saw this. And there were 6 people. They all said they didn't. They all were happy.
But there was one that was there in the back that said, yeah, when I found out the guy was a racist and this and that, then you find out that the guy has a YouTube channel. He was always a Bernie socialist. So it's like, it's fake. And then people are saying, well, okay, you are fake news then.
Yeah.
Because if you have to go that far to go and look, if everything that is so prevalent, you don't have to make shit up. You don't have to.
Well, that's the thing. They should be criticizing him for shit that's legitimate. Like,
right.
First of all, I'm super anti-war. That's more why I'm libertarian than anything else, right? And it's like, the left used to be, but it's funny. You see Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I don't know the guy's name, but the mayor of Tallahassee, who's, you've seen all this, he's going to be running for governor in Florida, and everyone's wetting themselves and creaming themselves over it. Fucking, none of them talk about anti-war shit anymore.
Right.
All they talk about is domestic socialist policies and shit. So it's kind of like, dude, Trump is gonna end up being the dude that's like more anti-war than you guys. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
It's a and this is why I love it. And I tell people, look, you know, don't sit.
They could criticize him if they were anti-war. They could criticize him for that legitimately, like what we're doing in Yemen, which we're doing less than we were doing under Obama. I'm sorry, that's just a fact. But like, if they want to criticize him for legit shit, the tariffs, which I guess kind of worked out.
They
for
did.
EU,
You had fucking I mean, people are mad at that. You had Dangote, I forget his first name, that richest man in Africa, said, you know what, that's actually brilliant. That's going to work.
Yeah, because he's dealing. He's wheeling and dealing.
Yeah,
well, the EU caved. It's probably going to work. With, right now, it's Mexico and Canada. If he makes a deal with Pineda or whatever, and I forget his name, in Mexico, the dude in Canada's going to just go with it. He's going to have no choice there.
Yeah, and that's why economy's booming. What are you complaining about? Yes, okay, there's some social issues. I get, like, for me, this is where I think he should go. He needs to head to Michigan and help Flint with the war.
Absolutely.
He does that, done.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's automatic. And I think he's going to win anyway in 2020 because of all this.
It depends on what happens in November, because if they win the House... The thing is, if they win the House and the Senate, I don't know, it's got to be an impeachment, totally. I don't see that happening. I see... The most logical thing, which logic means nothing in 2018. Logic hasn't meant anything since November 2016. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, on a side note, what do you think of the rapper Logic? I'm just curious.
He's another... Jesus. He's another fucking
SJW.
one of these SJW.
Like, dude, he can spit. I used to like his shit, but then like the other day at the VMAs with the T-shirts.
Yeah,
like,
send us your week. Send us. And I'm saying to myself, I love when people. This is my thing with the limousine liberals and shit.
Yes.
Listen, you have the power to do this. Instead of telling other people to take care of your shit, you do it. Yeah. Be the change you want to be. That's why, like, I think it was Cher who said,
I saw this.
She said, listen, I'll take a family onto my property and help them out. Yeah. Okay, I can't say nothing to you.
Yeah.
All these assholes, again, this goes back
Bernie
to
Sanders
Hollywood.
has 3 houses.
3 fucking mansions. He's not giving them up. That's what I'm like, stop.
How can you listen to someone like that, then?
Thank you. That's what
I can't.
I tell people, listen, if you're walking the walk, I can respect you. I can say, okay, like this Maxine Waters thing when she came out and said, well, listen, if you see a conservative or a Trump supporter, you got to go surround them. This and
bother them, yes.
Right. So it's like, well,
and that's been happening.
It has. And guess who looks loony in that situation?
Yeah. Well, regular people in flyover country, as they call it, they're going to vote for Trump and the Republicans.
Right.
They're going to. If they watch Tucker Carlson, they watch Fox News. What do you think of him, by the way?
Tucker is...
My brother is a straight-up conservative, but like, I always say it's more WWE-ish, and my brother gets mad when I say that.
It's sort of true.
He destroys everyone that goes on there.
And that's why I love him. Because he asks the most... To me, they're very tame, but very poignant questions. Because he'll sit and say, well, okay, this is what you're proposing. What about this? This is why I was talking to one of my good friends, Joe. He goes, and he's conservative. He says, that this is how I look at conservatism versus liberalism. He goes, liberals, you got to look at like children, not in a paternalizing way, but when you're a kid, you want to eat sweets.
Yes.
Oh no, mommy! No, I want crybabies. I want the bubble gum. I want this and that. But then you're saying, as a conservative, well, you shouldn't do that because you have the foresight of your teeth will rot. It's not good for your health.
Glucose doesn't metabolize quick.
But for the time being, it sounds good.
And it tastes great.
Yeah, it's great. Look, and look. and when I say liberals, I don't mean because I'm friends with people.
Yeah,
that
I would
lean
consider
left.
myself like a liberal, but not a
Not
left.
today.
No,
Yeah, not
no,
today.
No.
Yeah,
That's why I say libertarian.
And that's the other thing. Like, if you're a regular liberal to that far leftist,
They hate
you're
you.
just right. Yeah,
that's like Dave
already
Rubin is like that. Like
Yeah,
Steven
classic.
Pinker is like that,
Right.
basically. Like, and they call Steven Pinker a Nazi. It's like this dude's voted Democrat his entire fucking life. What?
But because he did one thing they don't like.
Yeah, he said this explains the alt-right, and then that's what set up. All right, before we get out of here, I want a few more things I want to build with you on. Like,
Right.
I know you're a comic book fan, and I told you I have my own comic book, Highwayman, available Amazon, Kindle, worldwide. Check it out.
Yes.
And what do you think the current? First of all, because I know you said Marvel in one of the other videos. Do you
Right.
fuck with DC? I assume you do because you have Batman sometimes on the show.
This is me. I'm more of a Marvel fan than DC. I always was growing up. Marvel just had more of a. I know this sounds crazy, but they were more rooted to realism to me.
That's true.
Because they'll use New York City for
Yes.
Spider-Man, Daredevil, XYZ. I never liked DC. The fact that DC made up shit.
Metropolis, Central City is the Flash, I think.
Right, Coast City. You got Green Lantern, I believe. Okay, with DC, there's a few guys I fuck with. I love Batman.
Batman's my second favorite character
Of all time. Yeah. See.
Number one is Spider-Man for me.
There we go. Yeah. See. Yeah. Spider-Man.
I have one right here.
That's Punisher?
No, Spider-Man.
Oh, the Spidey? Okay, yeah, you had your
That's
finger blocking.
It's like the Homecoming tattoo, which that movie I did not like. You want to talk about some SJW shit? Holy shit.
Well, see, this
that
is my
wasn't why I
thing.
didn't like it, though.
See, but, okay, well, we could delve into that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the movies, too, because that's such a big thing in the culture.
Right.
Now.
As far as Marvel right now, there's this thing called Comicsgate
Yes.
with, and I feel like I'm
So
sort
they
of...
don't want the girls to have big tits. And, that's a part of it, at least.
That's part of, there's a guy I've been following. I did a video, I'm sure you saw, talking about diversity in comics.
Yes, I did see that.
That guy's channel is amazing.
Okay.
You have to watch his shit.
Okay.
He's talking about how Marvel or comic books in general has always had diversity, but right now in Marvel particularly, what they're doing is they're just writing in characters that have no depth only because they're minorities. And then when fans say, well, these characters suck, like, what are you doing with them?
The audience is racist.
Yeah, you're just sexist, you're homophobic.
Yeah.
It's the same garbage. So this guy, what he did was he turned around because I believe he was like in the military or something. Like he had a military career. He did some type of comic book shit. You could find it on Amazon, but I think majority of them are sold out. But one of the guys, Mark Waid, I'm sure you heard of him.
Yeah, of course. He's an artist. He's a writer, correct?
Yeah, something. Yeah.
He's one of the most famous writers.
But he's pure. He's another SJW guy.
Yeah, all of them are.
I think it was him or one of these other guys challenged this guy Richard C. Meyer, the
To a
diversity.
debate?
No. Say, hey, listen, you stop talking shit. Get on the shelf and prove yourself. What did he do? He started a Indiegogo. He had a script for one of these books that he never published.
Damn,
So
this is awesome, dude. Because I have scripts for shit that I want to get drawn. I don't have an artist.
Right. But that's what he did. He linked up with was it John Malin, Ethan Van Sciver, all these guys. He created a book that outsold all these books.
Wow.
You want to know how much I think his original amount, I think it was like 10,000, something along those lines. You know how much this motherfucker ended up making? Over $300,000 because, and then they were mad at him.
What did Mark Waid say? He just did radio silence, of course.
Mark Waid went and there was a publisher that was going to publish his book. Mark Waid went
and blocked him.
Yeah,
and blackballed him.
Yeah. So what he did, what Richard C. Meyer did, was he went and said, "Hey, I'm going to sue because you can't do that." I forget what the terminology for it is called, but he was talking to a couple of lawyers and stuff. I don't know where that's going.
I wish I had this new project done. This is all about.
Dude, you can still do it.
I know. I'm saying. I wish I could show it to you right now. I'm going to explain it to you. I can't say it on here because I don't want to. I don't want to bite the shit. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the movies, first of all, the Marvel movies surpass the DC movies by 1 billion.
Yes.
And what do you think is the best of the Marvel movies? I ask people that often.
Oh God, Marvel Right now, shit. I love, it's hard to say. Like, I loved Infinity War.
That was good. I was very skeptical of that because I was like, "There's no way they're pulling this off with this many actors and this much shit." They did it great. I liked it a lot.
Everyone had enough screen time. Everyone, I love how their personalities bounce off each other.
I love the Peter and fucking Tony Stark relationship.
They're like father and son.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I would say that although I didn't really like Homecoming, I loved Michael Keaton in it. He saved the movie.
Yeah, him as the Vulture.
But the kid, I love Tom Holland as he
Peter.
looks like the most Peter Parker out of any of the movie guys so far.
Right. But it's hard to say because I love the Captain America trilogy. That
was good. A lot of people hate on that shit.
No,
which is insane.
I saw a meme that spoke to me on so many levels. He goes, as someone created it. This is an example of how you do a trilogy that outdoes itself every time it drops. And like Winter Soldier,
the second one is real good.
My fucking god, man.
I mean, the third one is Civil War, right?
Civil War,
oh
right.
Shit, yeah. See, I don't even. It's all blends together.
I would say.
What did you think of Black Panther, by the way? Because there's so much controversy about that.
Black Panther. See, and this is my this is my end of Facebook shit. Like I was posting about that. I saw people posting, this is the greatest, and I'm just saying to myself, well, okay, there have been black
Blade,
superheroes.
Spawn, Cage.
Yeah, Meteor Man. All these guys.
You could say Django. I mean, there's a comic book of Django right here, but obviously the movie comes first.
Right. But these have existed, but of course,
Shaft.
because all these black-owned.
Foxy Brown, Dolomite.
Yes. You have a ton. People are acting like this is the first time it's been coming out. And look,
I think Shadowhawk from Image is black.
Shadowhawk, he was black. Yeah, that's another character that. See, when I talk about SJWs and comic books and this whole Comicsgate thing, people don't realize that again these characters have existed. In fact, that's why Shadowhawk from Image was a great character because no one knew what the guy looked like.
Exactly. I just remember once, I'm in the back of my mind, I remember he took the mask off and I was like, wait, he was a black dude, I think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Didn't he have AIDS too, I think, if I remember correctly?
I don't remember
it was some shit like that. He had a disease or something.
That I don't remember too much, but I remember that there was when he first unmasked himself was because there was a guy who was mimicking him and was killing vigilantes. But there were strictly black dudes. The guy was racist. So when he found out, I think the guy goes, yeah, we gotta, he assumed that Shadowhawk was a white dude.
Yeah.
So he
he took the mask off.
Yeah, he goes,
I remember reading
this. He goes, yeah, we gotta, we're gonna kill all these niggers and stuff like that. So he goes,
Chapel, the dude who killed Spawn, by the way. But he was kind of anti-hero, whatever.
Yeah.
Bishop from X-Men is a big one.
Yeah, Bishop. But Spawn is another
people would say maybe not because of the Charred, blah, 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 whatever.
No,
Jamie Foxx is playing him in the movie.
Todd
McFarlane is directing, and I've gotten in some contention with some serious comic book heads about this because, okay, I love Spawn. I have issues 1 through I think 60.
Yeah.
And then I don't really buy. I buy like the trade paperbacks. I just don't have time to hit the store every week like some of these other cats.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you see right there, I got it was Neil Gaiman Batman shit. Okay. The writing of Spawn was never great. I'll be honest with you. The characters are awesome. The stories are awesome. The actual writing is never great. And Todd is directing the movie. I don't know who's writing it. I assume he's going to be writing some of it and shit like that. But I'm a little skeptical of your first directorial debut. You know what I'm saying? You're an artist by trade.
I mean, see...
Although Jamie Foxx signing on is probably a good sign because he's a good actor.
Yeah. Well, okay. You never like... What about the writing did you not like?
I just thought it's clunky. It's like an artist writing. Like, the only dude who can draw and write perfectly is Frank Miller, I think.
Okay.
Like, Eric Powell, who makes Goon, he's very good, but he's writer by trade. I think he learned how to draw later.
Okay.
People that can do both is so rare.
Right.
I'm trying to think of anyone besides Frank Miller. There's really nobody.
I guess I can agree on the fact that, like, Spawn, I guess...
I'm talking about the actual bubbles and shit. The stories are dope. The actual writing, the actual
writing
dialogue,
as
all that shit. Yeah, like the stories are fucking awesome. Yeah, the whole idea is amazing.
But that's what this whole Comicsgate is about. It's like I always use Spawn as a perfect example because people, the anti-comics gate guys, the SJWs and all, oh, no, you just don't want minorities and all this stuff. It's like, well, what do you mean? Spawn dominated the 90s.
Yes.
And was a black dude. Like,
yeah.
And people
but a lot of times people who
gravitated-
know the SJWs in the comic world, they'll be like, yeah, but he wasn't really because his face was burned. That's what they say.
Yeah, it's always an excuse, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, you have Storm, who led the X-Men, who was a female, black. I mean, what the fuck do you want? You just want your
Yeah, I forgot
representation.
Storm,
She's
That's why
a
when
huge one.
Michelle Obama came out, it was like the first time there's a black superhero in the movie.
Yeah,
so I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
People just don't. People love it. I get the representation thing, but it's to a fault. You're doing it just because you could say it's there.
but as a movie, did you like Black Panther or no?
Look, I took some umbrage with certain things. I think it was good, but you know, there's a guy. I'm sure you know this guy. I talked about him before. You know, Tommy Sotomayor.
Of course. Yeah, he's been on Rubin Report.
Yes. So he talked about the movie, and he brought up some good points. He goes, first of all, Black Panther was a simp in that movie because.
But explain simp, by the way, because
Simp?
I'm not familiar with that. But I see you writing it. Then you had simp awards and shit.
Simp is a person who will do anything. It's basically like a white knight. Will do anything for a woman, no matter how wrong she is, because there's pussy there. That comes first. That's priority. Instead of you doing what you got to do, whether it's right or you as a man